first we had the Nintendo showcase, the Nintendo Direct.
Yeah.
And on Friday we had the Friday, no?
No, it was the same day.
Oh, the same day, yeah.
Only
We had the PlayStation showcase.
Yeah, the state of play.
So, yeah.
Yeah. So.
But we are gonna start with the Nintendo one.
Yeah. So I think both streamings were like pretty small. They didn't have much, but the Nintendo one was a little bit longer than the PlayStation one.
Yeah.
But
40 minutes.
Yeah, and the other one was 27, something like that. I think maybe people had more expectations for the Nintendo Direct because they didn't say what they were like going to show. I think they say that it was going to be only games that are coming out on winter, but they didn't show, or they didn't say like, okay, these kind of games or anything. So maybe expectations were a little bit high.
Yeah, some people were expecting like Metroid Prime 4, but that's not gonna happen.
That is not coming out. And then the PlayStation Showcase, we knew that it was going to be something small, about indies, about PSVR 2,
third-party games.
Like, I guess, again, it depends on your taste and the games that you like and you want to see. I felt that the PlayStation 1 was a little bit, I don't know, more exciting, at least for me. But the Nintendo one, I didn't like it at all.
Oh, yeah, me too. It was really weak.
So yeah, the first game that we have is like a spiritual successor of Suikoden.
There were a lot of games, but we just selected a few ones, the one that are a little bit interesting for us.
Yeah. So the first one is Eiyuden 100 Heroes.
Yeah.
It doesn't look bad.
It will be from the creators of the Suikoden saga.
Yeah. Doesn't look bad, but I don't know. What do you think? You like Suikoden?
It looks like Suikoden 2 for PS1.
Yeah.
Doesn't look much better than that. I mean, it looks good. And I think the game is going to be good because Suikoden 1 and 2 are really good games. I have faith that this game is going to be good.
Yeah, I think it looks interesting. It has that PS1 feeling. Of course, like, I think the first Suikoden or the second one was like all 2D. And this one has like 3D, and some of the effects and everything that we see are... it looks good, decent. So I don't think it's entirely bad. But yeah, I don't know if you like this kind of games.
Oh yeah, it's an improved version of the PS1 games.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Do you have pixel art games or PS1 style games that look better?
Yeah.
Like even Sea of Stars, it looks amazing.
Yeah.
Or this 2.5D like triangle strategy, and the other one, it's called
Octopath Traveler.
Octopath. Yeah. Those games look really beautiful also.
And I think we are getting soon the remake in that kind of style of Dragon Quest 3.
Oh yeah.
That one I think like...
haven't played any Dragon Quest 2.
I play 11. And like...
I don't know if you don't know.
Yeah. I play 11 and I think... I don't know, they're kinda the same. Like, if you like Dragon Quest, I think it won't be disappointing. What I do know is that the new Dragon Quest, they announced a Dragon Quest like 12, I think, a few years ago. And it was like one of these announcements that is just like a title screen, that they don't show anything else, that the name of the game, and that's it. And apparently, I don't know why, if it is a new trend inside Square Enix or what, but they want to take this new entry in the Dragon Quest franchise to something similar to Final Fantasy 16. So it will be like a Dragon Quest that is more grounded, mature, dark. It seems to be action RPG too. So
looks interesting.
yeah, I think that one could be.
But they are not gonna maintain the Akira Toriyama style.
I think that probably yes. I don't think they can remove that. It's kind of like all Dragon Quest has that style. I think like if they do or like they change the style or something like that, they're gonna have so many people so upset that.
Yeah. How do you do that style in like a mature and serious way, like 16?
Yeah, I don't know.
It's kind of the opposite.
Yeah. I don't think it will try to be like a realistic RPG. It will be more like a fantasy RPG still, but a lot darker. I don't know if it will be the same level of like darkness and political themes that the Final Fantasy 16 touch, but around that it can work, but I don't know. We need to see. Like, what I do know is that maybe people will get a little bit upset because it seems that it will be an action RPG, and Dragon Quest is like a franchise that maintain like the same gameplay through the entire saga. So I don't know how that will, I don't know, make some people feel, I guess.
Yeah, Final Fantasy changed
Long
with
ago.
each game, but
Yeah. It has been a very long time since we have like a pure turn-based game. So we already got used to the change. Some people didn't, but many of us, we already were like prepared.
I mean, that's why it's also so popular in Japan.
Yeah.
They don't like changes.
Yeah. Yeah, like I guess like the reception of Final Fantasy 16 in Japan has been a little bit. I don't think it was bad. I think people like it, but it's nowhere like near to something like Dragon Quest on popularity. I think all these changes in the gameplay, in the way that they speak, also it was the first Final Fantasy that kinda recommended you to play it all in English. Like the main language of the game was this kind of medieval and old English, so I felt that for Japanese people might not be the best. It has Japanese voices, of course, but you can clearly see that the voices won't match the mouth when they are talking and things like that. So
have you tried it in Japanese?
No, I didn't even try it. I saw some videos and it sounds good, to be honest. Like, of course it will sound good. But like, I do think that a game, for example, like Final Fantasy VII Remake, we're gonna talk about Final Fantasy VII in a while, but I think that one in Japanese is a lot better. I played it on English the first time because it has the same voice acting as Advent Children, and I kinda like it, but now I don't like it that much anymore. After 16, it's really hard to go back to that kind of voice acting, at least for me.
Yeah, no, I played in Japanese. The remake.
Yeah. Yesterday.
If they have English voice, I mean English subtitles and Japanese voice, I play like that.
Yeah. No, it's a lot better. To be honest, yesterday I was playing in Japanese and I thought this is so much better than the English one.
I remember when I recommend you to play. You were still in Japan, I think. Ni no Kuni.
Yeah. But Ni no Kuni.
You were playing it in English, and I was like.
But Ni no Kuni, because it's a game that resembles so much the Ghibli movies, I think it has a decent voice acting. I don't think it's bad. The voice acting.
No, it's decent.
It's a good voice acting in English.
But the Japanese actors are more.
No, of course, it's another feeling. But I think in Final Fantasy VII, it kind of shocked me a little bit more when we saw the last trailers and that stuff. In that moment, I thought this hits so much like different because the English cast is not bad. I don't want to say that it's bad because I know that there is a lot of people that like it, but no, it doesn't hit the same way that it will be with Japanese. So yeah, I think that one is a game to play in Japanese. So then we have the next game that is Saga. How's it called?
Saga Emerald Beyond.
Saga Emerald Beyond. So
Yeah, from the
you have
Saga franchise.
Yeah, you have a little bit more experience with the Saga series.
I mean, I only play a little bit Saga Frontier on the PS1, like you told me you play a little bit, no?
Yeah.
I mean, I know them. Like a lot of people know, the first Saga games were rebranded as Final Fantasy in the States.
Yeah.
And Europe too, I guess, I don't know.
Maybe they didn't come to Europe.
You have those 3 Saga games, then you have Romancing Saga, Saga Frontier, and then up to that point, it looks like a RPG. After that, Saga Unlimited on PS2, and this game, they look so weird.
Yeah, this one looks
They
weird.
look like a, I don't know, like a tabletop game.
Yeah. It has some, like, I don't know if it is turn-based or action, but yeah, it looks strange. I don't think it looks bad, because what I like a little bit is that it has that art style that is kind of from the Saga series, you know what I mean? It kind of looks like a paint or something like that. So I don't think that looks bad, but I don't know, again, it's weird, and I don't know how good these games are.
We didn't see much also.
Nah, it's
few seconds of the
yeah,
gameplay.
it was a very short trailer. But yeah, we don't have much to say about Saga, I guess.
No, it's a big saga, no?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a big saga, but I don't know.
Yeah. If you
Some
like
people
it,
like it, but I don't think
are they
it
connected?
became
No.
like that. No idea.
I don't think they are. Maybe the Saga Frontier, maybe.
Saga Frontier 1, 2, maybe.
Yeah.
But no, I don't.
And
Then, after that, we have Tomb Raider.
Yeah.
The remaster of the first 3 games. Remaster or remake?
hey, they call it remaster. So
Yeah.
we're gonna leave it at that. Again, like, this art style for me doesn't look that good. I know that there is people that will like it, but I will much prefer to play like in the original, with the original graphics, but in HD, that with the art style that they kinda show in the game. I don't know why, it gives me a feeling that I don't like it. But I guess it's nice that they bring these games back, because they are classic games. Like, I remember playing Tomb Raider, I don't know which one, on the PS1, and it was a classic game, and I don't know, I guess now Tomb Raider is kind of missing from the new games and things like that. So yeah.
Did you do the thing that most of the people do before? You know that you have like this training level in Lara Mansion,
Yeah.
and you have the, how's it called?
The guy that
I
follows
forgot the
you.
word. Yeah, the guy that follows you everywhere.
That was so creepy. Like, I was always
Like
so.
your Alfred.
Yeah, because like he follows you around, but because he has those PS1 graphics, he looks so weird. And I always felt that, I don't know, because it was weird. Like, the mansion, it was empty. It didn't have music.
The butler. Right?
Yeah. Yeah. So like, I don't know, every time that he was coming around, I felt that it was like I don't know, very weird.
It was so scary, more than Silent Hill.
Yeah, yeah. And like, then I remember that it was like a level in a cave, and there was like a tiger or something like that.
That was I think the beginning of it.
Yeah.
of the second one.
Yeah, I can't remember anything at all of the games. But again, yeah.
No, come.
Yeah. I mean, like, I like the point of this direct from Nintendo is that I understand that now we are getting closer to the new console. So they need to milk the Nintendo Switch, whatever it have left of life in its life cycle. They need to milk it as much as possible, just to sell a few more units and a few more games, and that's it. Like, if they show now the new console, I guess like many people will start to say, okay, I won't buy the Nintendo Switch now because I know that this new console is coming out.
But the thing is that they say that there wasn't gonna be any new console at least until next year.
Yeah, until I think March or something like that at least.
Half year, yeah. I think they say July or something like that.
Yeah, around that.
Like half of the next year. They didn't plan any big game releases or something up to July next month.
Yeah.
They really sell that, and it's like, I don't know, almost a year.
Yeah, I don't know if you will
left without anything big.
Yeah, I don't know if you can count Mario Wonder as a big release. I know there is a lot of people excited for that one. I guess it is kind of like a big release from them. The problem with Mario is that they just put so many games. Like in this red, how many games we saw? At least 5. And then you have Mario Wonder, and I don't know. And that will cover the entire winter, so I guess it will be from December to March. That is the lineup of games. And then, I don't know, I think around after winter they should show the new console. I don't think they can go much longer without showing anything.
But what I was trying to say, like, with PS4 and PS5, the last 2 big games were like Last of Us 2 and then Ghost of Tsushima. I think, no?
Yeah, it came before. I can't remember if it was the Last of Us, the last one, or Ghost of Tsushima before. But yeah, those one were like.
But that was like also in the middle of that year.
Yeah, and Final Fantasy VII Remake too.
Well, a little bit before.
Yeah.
But you had like a few months only until the next console.
Yeah.
Not a year and a half.
Well, yeah, that's the problem. They say, but this is like all speculation and rumors, so we are not sure about like how long it will take. But they say that the console should come at the end of next year. I think that is a very long time without like having.
It's too much.
It's too much. Like no games, no anything. I know that Nintendo is always like making a direct around March. So that would be like the opportunity to say, okay, here's a new console. But I don't know.
They should have announced it now. A few months ago and saying, okay, next year we are gonna launch this.
Yeah, but the problem is, again, we were like talking about this the other day. How many consoles they keep selling? So they think that if they don't announce anything, they will keep these sales secure. And then when they announce the next one, it's like, okay, here you have it.
Yeah, but PlayStation kept selling PS4.
Yeah, of course, but I don't know how long it took for them to reveal the PS5. Because when we were in Japan, it was 2020, the year that it came out. And I think we knew something about the PS5, like rumors and things like that, but I think it was like closer to the time that it came out that we saw the reveal and everything.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess it could be that in March Nintendo shows like after all these games the console, and it comes after a few months.
But it will be also weird to launch a console in the middle of the year.
Yeah, I guess, but it could come on summer. Summer is a good time to. Everyone has holidays, vacations, whatever. It is a good time to launch a console too. It's not,
But it's not Christmas.
no, it's not the same, of course. I do really hope that the same thing that happened with the Xbox Series X and PlayStation 5 doesn't happen with this one. That it was so hard to get the console. I know that we are not living the same times that we did at that moment with COVID and all that stuff. But it would be nice to just get the console.
Well, they say that, no? That they're trying to make everything smooth, so nothing like that happens.
Yeah. Yeah, we have Prince's Peach. I don't know what we can say about this one.
I mean, like we talked before, I think it's a okay game if you're a child. If you're a girl, like you have a daughter or whatever, it would be really nice to play with her.
Yeah, I guess.
It's an okay game, but I don't think it's a game that adults are gonna enjoy that much.
No, I think like Nintendo is taking advantage of the momentum that they have with Mario after the movie, because the movie was a very big success.
Yeah.
So I guess it's just like, okay, here you have a bunch of Mario games, and you know that these games come out and they have like that Nintendo seal quality, that they run okay, they look okay, they are nothing crazy, but it's a game that works at least.
Yeah, of course, the graphics are gonna be what they can do.
Yeah, like it doesn't look bad, to be honest. It has some charm if you want. I wouldn't buy it, but I guess.
No, but it doesn't look better than older Switch games.
No, of course. It's not awful like Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, but
yeah, how many Marios they announced? Counting Peach.
Paper Mario.
Mario, they announced, I think it was a remake also, Mario versus King Kong.
Paper Mario.
The first Paper Mario.
Mario RPG.
Yes.
Mario Wonder.
Mario Wonder. And the second Paper Mario.
That one too?
Paper Mario, that's the 1,000-year old.
And Luigi's Mansion too.
Luigi's Mansion too, yeah.
It was quite... And the DLC of Mario Kart.
It's kind of a bit annoying. Not annoying, but for me, it's like they present like a game that everybody knows, for example. I don't know. All Nintendo fans know Luigi's Mansion.
Yeah.
On the presentation, it's like, oh, but you can do this, and also if you get this, you can do that, and like we know.
Yeah.
It's not an announcement. It's like it's an old game.
Yeah. I guess it was like, I don't know. I guess we could say the same about the state of play, but maybe it wasn't necessary to make like an streaming to announce these games, and it was just good enough to release a trailer and that's it. I understand the hype of the streaming, like you're waiting, oh, maybe we're gonna get something nice and that stuff, and they do like, and now we have something else to show, and they do like this, and they show like so like I understand that they try to hype it up a little bit, but again, I don't think it was anything.
Yeah, but it was, every game started like the return of X game HD remaster. It was too many remakes and remasters.
Yeah, like we were saying before, I understand that some of these games, especially with Nintendo games, because that is the thing too. There is like games that were like from the DS era or GameCube era or Game Boy, and these games, like if you want to play them today, the only way is through like retro gaming, like retro consoles and things like that, or emulating on PC.
Yeah.
So if you want to buy copies of these games, the problem with the Nintendo games that even like in Japan, that many of the games that we wanted were like really cheap. Everything that is Nintendo is super expensive, and in Europe and United States it's even more expensive than in Japan. So I understand that if we see it as something that is like trying to preserve games and bring these classic titles back, it's okay. But then the pricing, I don't know, $60 for this kind of remasters is a little bit too much.
The last Paper Mario is 60.
I think it's
2000
60.
year though.
Yeah, let me check. But I think it's 60. I don't know if...
I mean, it looks better than the GameCube version, but not that much better. What
No.
you say will be the only reason to get that one. Instead of buying the
Yeah.
original.
I don't know if there is like an official price yet. But I think it was around 50 or 60.
Yeah, I mean, Nintendo is always expensive.
But like here, I'm looking at a copy for the GameCube, at least here in Sweden, and it's like 250 euros. So that's the problem. Like again, do you prefer to pay 60 for a better version, or that? You know, of course, I would prefer the $60, but those prices are not real. At least like mega
it should
prices.
be cheaper. Like,
yeah, I think
no more than 40. Yeah.
Yeah, even like Metroid Prime, I think it was 40. That was a good price.
I don't know how much it was.
I think it was 40.
Anyway, for us, the Nintendo Direct was mediocre.
Yeah.
Not. I think for me, the only game that I would say that I like it was Uden. That's the only game that I'm gonna play for.
Yeah.
From all that list.
Is that one a Nintendo exclusive or is coming to all platforms?
No, I think all platforms.
Yeah.
I mean, the Paper Mario RPG are also good games, and I haven't played them, so maybe also.
It is a classic Squaresoft game. So it has that special thing. And that one is probably super expensive. Yeah, I can't remember.
Yeah, the edition for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it looks good, Paper Mario, but again, I guess like it is just boring when the only thing that we have to announce is like remasters and the comeback of this game and the return of the other one. Because then I think like they always a lot of people attack Sony because of remakes and remasters, but I don't think they do as many as Nintendo. No, nowhere near.
Should we?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. No, I was gonna say, should we move to the
PlayStation?
Yeah.
First title we have Baby Steps.
Yeah, Baby Steps.
Did you like, or do you know the developers of this game?
Yeah, I was googling now. That's because I forgot to open. Yeah, it's from the creator. I think Bennett Foddy, from the creator of this Flash game called Quop.
Yeah,
it's like this running weird with weird control games. Yeah, and after that, the other famous game that he made is what's called this game that every streamer was playing it.
Yeah,
Getting Over It.
Yeah, I think I mean, I was like watching the podcast that we always watch, you know. They were like talking about how these games became perfect games for like streaming. Yeah, like this one is weird. I don't think it's a good game or a bad one. It's just that It's like that kind of game that you can play or with friends in a party or something like that, or to stream with people because you don't need to put too much attention and it can be entertaining and funny.
Yeah, it's a streamer game.
Yeah.
I mean, if I play it alone, I don't know if I'm gonna enjoy it. I mean, it's a frustrating game.
Yeah.
I'm gonna fail hundreds of times, and you're missing the laugh and the comments with the others.
Yeah.
Like if you're alone, it's like, oh, what happened? Look what I did.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like a game that you just use it for that kind of situation, to have some fun and some people watching you on the stuff. I think it looks cool. It's weird, but it looks cool.
Yeah, it looks weird, and like we said, for that purpose only.
Yeah.
Mostly.
And then we have the awaited DLC of Resident Evil 4. We knew that this one was coming. I think some data miners found like a folder inside the PC version of Resident Evil 4 Remake. They saw that there was like a folder with the name of this DLC that is called Separate Ways. This was like it's like a mode that it was in the original Resident Evil 4, but for PS2, not the original GameCube release. So it's kind of like another point of view from Ada perspective through the events of Resident Evil 4. So I guess it will be okay. I don't expect a super good DLC, but it looks okay, and it's cheap. It's just $10, €10, I guess. It's not expensive.
Was it long, the original?
I can't remember. Because they have like two versions or two different things with Ada. One is this thing that is called Separate Ways, and the other one was like Assignment Ada or something like that. And that one was really short. That was kind of like more like a mini game with some story background, but I don't know. So I think this one will be around 3-4 hours. It's not bad for the price. I think it's okay. So,
and also they announced the
VR
version.
That is for free. So that is
it's for free.
Yeah,
if you have
the game and the VR, you can already play it. And I think that one is coming out next or winter or summer next year. So
I think it's like Resident Evil is the only franchise that is doing that, like porting the game exactly as it is for VR.
Yeah, they started with 7, they did it with 8, now with this one. And this one, I think, if you had, I think it was Oculus or one of those VR, you could play the original game on VR too, so like the original Resident Evil 4. So it is an experience that I would like to have. But the thing is, like, every time I think about the PSVR 2, it's kind of hard to think like, okay, should we buy this or not? It's very expensive. The only things that I personally really want to try is like Gran Turismo 7, the Horizon game, yeah, Resident Evil 8 and 4.
It will be really good to play Gran Turismo with if you buy like a.
Yeah, they say that. I heard that Gran Turismo on VR is really, really good. Because the graphics on the PS5 of Gran Turismo is insane, so having it with VR must be the best experience.
Not from this Sony event, but just as a comment that they announced that you will be able to play the Resident Evil Village on iPhone.
Ah, yeah.
That's why.
And Resident Evil 4 Remake and Death Stranding.
Remake too?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
And everything with ray tracing.
That's so crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't play it on a phone, but
No, but like, I don't know. For example, I don't know if it will have cross play or cross saves. So if you could move your save from like PlayStation to the phone or to the phone, I don't think. But
I don't think so.
yeah, but like if you could have that, maybe I don't know if you are traveling somewhere and you can like just share the screen from the phone on a TV and you can play there and you don't have lag. I think it's a good thing. It's not all the iPhones. I thought it was for every iPhone 15. It's only the Pro versions. So, of course, you need to pay the most expensive one.
Yeah, but still,
It's impressive. That's for sure. I don't know how long it will last, the battery of that phone and things like that. But yeah, and I think the newest Assassin's Creed too, the one that is coming out.
Oh yeah, Mirage.
Yeah, that one. So you have. I knew that Hideo would love to be there, so he put Death Stranding because he loves Apple products so much. So yeah, I think he also like is
But
porting.
at least they are announcing real games for phones.
Yeah, yeah. It will be crazy to see like phones getting AAA releases day one or something like that. Yeah.
I mean, almost any
High-end phone, yeah.
high-end or medium quality phone is better than a Switch, for example.
Yeah, man. The Switch, yeah.
Oh,
I don't
so why
know,
not?
like, for example, I don't know how this phone compares with a Steam Deck, for example. Because I saw some screenshots and it looks good. Of course, it doesn't look as good on like on a PC or PS5. But it's crazy that it has ray tracing because that is a very demanding thing. So I don't know if Steam Deck has ray tracing.
No idea.
But yeah, I think it will be something around the same. Probably the Steam Deck might be better, and of course you have a lot of games to play there.
Yeah, of course. But if you like iPhone, I buy the 15 Pro.
Yeah, I don't see many people saying okay. Well, at least unless you have a lot of money, I don't see a lot of people buying the phone just to play these games.
No, clearly not just for that.
No, yeah. Then we have from the PlayStation Direct
Helldivers 2.
Helldivers 2. I didn't know that these ones were part of the PlayStation Studios. Like I knew from some time ago, but I never.
This was the first Helldiver was the one that was like a top view.
Yeah, I saw
game,
it too.
no?
Yeah.
No,
So I guess like it is a big change because this one, I think the first one is more particular because of the view of the game and everything. I think it has some different feeling. This one, when you change the perspective to third person and everything, it can become a little bit more generic, to be honest. But like, I would like to give it a try. If it is a fun game and everything, I don't know if we can get it to like. I don't know if it is a game that you can play without PlayStation Plus or anything. I guess it should because it's just online only. I guess I don't think it has like an option to play alone. But like maybe playing with a friend or something like that would be fun. I was thinking like maybe I could get the digital, and since we share the account, maybe we could play it. It wouldn't be.
Yeah, I mean, it looks okay. Nothing special to me.
No, it's something like to play a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I would have preferred to if they just record like those 5 minutes of gameplay or how long without that fake party.
Yeah, the recreation of the.
Oh yeah, thank you. All those. So...
Yeah. They forgot that people insult a lot and things like that in this kind of things.
Yeah, they wouldn't be like that. Yeah.
No, yeah, I don't know. And the graphics and everything and the gameplay looks fun. It seems like it has some dismember things, like your character might lose some limbs and things like that. So I don't know. It looks good, but I guess it is nothing crazy. It was supposed to come out this year, but it got pushed to 2024. Apparently, many games that were in development that were supposed to come this year from Sony are like pushed to next one.
Yeah, from Sony. Yeah, I mean this year is crazy.
Yeah,
You have too many games.
yeah. I think it's better to just push them to next year.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
Like we don't have much on the last 2 months, I guess, but like, people is tired. There's a lot of money. If you play every single game this year, you spend a lot of money. We didn't play that many new games, but again,
You can. You don't
Yeah.
have enough time.
yeah.
And then what we have after this, we have the Spider-Man 2.
Spider-Man 2. Let me just put the trailer.
Yeah, I mean, more of the same of what they have been showing. It looks great.
Looks great, yeah. I've been
But
watching. Yeah.
No, I don't know if they still need to keep showing the game.
No, like again, I think Sony really likes to do a lot of marketing and things like that with their games, so it wasn't necessary. Because we knew also that the previews of the game were like coming a day after the state of play. It wasn't necessary to know more of the game. We already have the previews and everything. We will hear what the people had to say. Those people were like recording gameplay too, so you could see that if you wanted. The overall like reaction of the game is that it looks amazing, it runs really well, and that the gameplay is really crazy, like kind of frenetic and a lot of adrenaline and things like that. So that's the part I think is kind of interesting, because of course, again, like I don't like these games because of Spider-Man, but I don't like many of the games of Insomniac because of what they are. I like them because they play really good. It's always like a very good showcase of graphics and things like that, and they are fun. So I'm more excited to just see how it looks and how it plays, and actually play by, I don't know, or because of the story or things like that.
Yeah, I haven't played the other ones, but like I told you before, I'm not very interested in this game because I feel like I'm burned out of the
It's the fatigue.
superhero genre.
Yeah,
I have seen like every Marvel movie, DC movies, Batman games, Spider-Man games.
No, yeah.
Yeah, it looks really fun and amazing. But I don't know. I don't want any more superheroes.
Yeah, like I've been avoiding superheroes movie for years now, so but again, like even for me that I didn't watch the movies or series or many of the content that they have been throwing to you at your face, it's like I feel burned out of like looking at those things and more Marvel and more DC. Like they just put so much stuff out that maybe in another moment of my life I would think, like when I play Batman, when I play Arkham, the Arkham games, I was really excited because of course the games are really good, and maybe I like more Batman than Spider-Man and stuff, but the games didn't feel that it was in a period where everything was all about superheroes. We didn't have much. We had a few movies and the normal stuff, the comics if you wanted, but I didn't feel like the market was saturated with Avengers games, Spider-Man games, I don't know, Gotham Knights and all that stuff. That doesn't mean that every game is bad. I think, like, I don't know, the Guardians of the Galaxy games was okay. It's a fun game for everyone that like that stuff. And this one is the same. It's a fun game. If you like it...
One that they say was a good game also is Midnight Suns.
That one was a good game? I thought it was...
I think no. I heard it was good.
No,
Maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, I can't remember, but that one didn't come a long time ago. I think well, it came 1 or 2 years ago.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, mixed reviews, I guess,
Yeah,
on Metacritic.
yeah.
83 from the critics.
Nah, it's okay for a superhero game.
Yeah.
I think it's not the greatest thing, but
But you know that they had, like, Disney have canceled a few shows and movies,
yeah.
and they announced that they are gonna focus on doing less things with more quality than a lot of shit. Like, who have known that we want to see quality things and not 100 thirds?
Yeah, but again,
They are genius.
yeah. But I like a lot of people really supported of things. If these things were like a big failure, maybe they wouldn't have like pushed these things so much. But because in one point they made some profit out of these things, even from the more like mediocre things, I guess it works for them. But now the superhero fatigue, that is the thing that everyone is saying, is real.
Talking about mediocre things, what game is next in this?
Man, I heard that this game is good. Like, it's a good clone of Splatoon. And to be honest, in terms of graphics, it doesn't look bad.
It's just that a clone of Splatoon.
Yeah.
And I think, I mean, in the state of play, they presented they show us the characters, no?
Yeah.
And I think they like that thing that Nintendo has.
Yeah.
I mean, the characters from Nintendo are way more, I don't know how to say it,
Yeah.
better designed,
Yeah.
more cute, and you see them like, oh,
Yeah.
this one are like,
more generic.
yeah, really generic.
Yeah. Yeah, again, it's like, again, if it is a good clone, I think it's nice because there is no other game like a Splatoon, and it could be a success in consoles like PlayStation and Xbox or PC because Splatoon is exclusive. So it could
Yeah, but it could be good, but while you play that, you know that it's just a clone, a
yeah.
worse clone of Splatoon.
Yeah, I guess it's better to have a good clone than a very bad one, but yeah, it's the same thing.
I mean, the same one when you play some Smash clone.
Yeah.
You know, they Smash Bros. Smash Bros. Cool.
Yeah. Super Smash Bros.
Yeah, you know that is out, that you could be playing the real game.
Yeah, when they have like the Warner Brothers Smash kind of game, you know which one I say? The one that has Scooby-Doo.
Yeah,
and things
that
like
one they say wasn't that bad. Haven't played.
And then the other one from Nickelodeon.
That one they say was horrible.
Yeah. But the one,
Yeah.
but again, if it is a good clone, it works. But yeah, you know.
I mean, I think the most successful one is Brawlhalla. It's like a free to play.
Ah, yeah. Yeah.
It's okay, but it's a call.
Yeah, and then we go to the special moment of the night, and I think it was very nice to just like
How you do?
to close with this one. I don't know what you thought about the game.
I mean, it looks way better than the remake to me. That you have like an open world. You could ride chocobos, flying chocobos. That was so good to see.
The first one was too linear, very linear. I was playing it yesterday a little bit, and I thought, wow, this one is so much like of going around a straight line, and it was the same problem with 13, because I don't know, 16 had that same like small space, but I felt like at least the layout of the maps were a little bit better.
Yeah, no, it was way big.
Yeah, I didn't feel that the exploration in Final Fantasy 16 was meaningful, but I didn't feel that it was just walking in a straight line to the next point. Like you have
With this one,
this one, it seems the verticality of the game is just insane. I didn't expect that. That is the problem. Like I was like saying, no.
yeah, you can fly.
Yeah, I didn't expect that. I thought this one is.
I mean, you could fly in 15.
Yeah, well, you could fly after the patches. At the beginning, you couldn't even drive the car.
Oh, yeah. You have the boogie.
Yeah, and you have a black
You have
chocobo.
everything. Yeah,
you
can go to Gold Saucer, play the mini games.
Yeah. No,
That's what I wanted.
Yeah. I think it was a very nice surprise. The summons look amazing. We have Odin. We have Alexander. The other one.
The bull.
Yeah.
What's called the bull?
Kuyata or something.
Kuyata, Kukata.
Yeah, something like that.
I don't know. Yeah.
What I did enjoy a lot watching this trailer is because I can't remember when was the last time that we got two massive Final Fantasy games so close to each other, because it's not even a year from one to the other, and I really enjoy like looking at the contrast of both games, how this one is super, I don't know, colorful and flashy. The other one is flashy too, but like the characters and everything, I think like instead of like attacking or talking shit about one art style of the other one, I really enjoy that we can have both existing in the same franchise. I don't know what you feel about that.
Yeah, no, they don't compete with each other.
No,
One is already established, a famous game.
a classic one.
Yeah.
Um,
And I think that like, every fan of Final Fantasy is gonna play both if they can. And
yeah. The nice thing is like if you want to pre-order Final Fantasy VII Rebirth now, you get a digital twin pack. So you only pay Rebirth and you get Intergrade for free. That's really good. I think it's a very good decision. Very surprised by that decision from Square Enix. Because I thought that maybe they were like going to charge you a little bit. Oh no, you can even.
It's the same price. It's not even $10 more.
No, nothing. It's like you only pay the price of Final Fantasy VII Rebirth.
That's really good.
Yeah, and you get the other one for free.
They also show all the versions. How it's called, the not collector edition.
Yeah.
Yeah, that comes with that Sephiroth figure. The steelbook.
Yeah, I tried to.
Steelbook.
My Steelbook is back.
So
the first one was way better with Sephiroth, with the flames in the background and everything.
Yeah, I don't know. They have Yoshitaka Mano on there. They should ask him to make every cover of every Final Fantasy.
Yeah, but it's like what I told you the other day. All the collector's edition from Final Fantasy XIV comes like with a special case that it has the cover made by Yoshitaka, and it's so like it feels right. It's like the only thing they should put. They shouldn't. I like the Final Fantasy 16 cover. I don't think it's bad. But if you say like no, let me put I know like the cover that the collector's edition has of Final Fantasy 16, put that. It's just so good. So and like
I have the steelbook from 15.
Yeah.
And it's one of the best steelbook that I have seen.
Yeah. Yeah, and even like there is the PS1 versions of Final Fantasy 1 and 2, 4 and 5, and I think 5 and 6, because in United States came 5 with 6 and here it came with 4. Those covers are all by Yoshitaka and it's the best. They are like really beautiful covers. I don't think the cover of Rebirth is bad. I will just
No, no.
change it, because if you change it, it's the same as the Japanese one from 7
I,
remake.
I was able to go to, when I was in Japan, to the Yoshitaka Mano exhibition. Also good. All the originals there.
And super
That
expensive.
famous, I think Faris from the second one. It's Faris? Firion, with the red sword.
Yeah.
That one was there. They were selling a lot of them.
Yeah,
like, really
yeah, it was.
And I remember that I went there. I didn't speak Japanese, and they asked me something. I say, yeah. They give me like a I don't know, sticker or something to put. I was looking at at the pictures, the drawings, and some Japanese came to talk to me like, Mano Sensei, like making conversation.
Yeah.
I think what I had, it was like, okay, you can come to me and talk about the art.
Yeah. Yeah, like a guide.
I don't speak Japanese. Oh, okay.
But were you alone?
Yeah, I was alone.
Yeah, I think it was. Well, but at least it was nice.
Yeah, it was amazing, and they give me like they gave you like you could choose from like a file.
Yeah.
Like a really good file or a mousepad with the Mano art.
But I think it was when I still was in Japan, right?
Yeah,
because
you didn't come.
Yeah, I think we were going to go together, but I don't know what happened. I didn't go. Yeah, I missed that one.
You missed it.
That one and the Berserk one too. But Berserk, I think I was already in Sweden.
Oh, that was so amazing.
Yeah, that one was too good. But yeah, again, I think we are getting Final Fantasy VII Rebirth on PS5 in February 29th. So it's just a few more months and we get it.
Also, they show Kaisit.
Vincent.
At the end, Vincent.
Yeah. Do you think we are going to see Sid? Or that is next?
I was thinking that. I mean,
I can't remember like
mostly the game is gonna end in the ancient capital, the ancient city.
Yeah, the temple.
In the original, to go there, you need to go first
to see it. Yeah. No, then I guess
I don't know what they. Oh, probably maybe it's gonna be there and they just didn't show.
Yeah,
to keep something.
Yeah, because from Vincent it was kind of like a surprise. They didn't show much. They didn't even show his face or anything like that. You see a little bit of like his clothes and his back, and that's it. But yeah, again, like I am excited for this game. I think the last trailer that we saw a few months ago didn't make me feel much. And this one, yeah, it had a lot of like surprises for like all fans and things like that. So
yeah, I mean the biggest surprise would be like that Nanaki can sit.
Yeah, flying
like a human.
mountain a choco. Those things are so bizarre from this game. But again, that is what I like, that we have 16 and 7 in such a big like contrast. But yeah, they say it will be around 100 hours. So, and that is only your first playthrough, not counting platinums or second playthroughs or anything like that. That's a lot of content.
100 plus the first one, 50?
The first one around 50, yeah. Plus the DLC.
Let's say 100 more for the third one.
Yeah, maybe more, I don't know. Maybe 100.
Like, to have the whole experience will be like at least 200 hours.
Yeah. We need to count the DLC, the Yuffie DLC, and we also need to take into consideration that they might make a new DLC for this one too.
Yeah.
Do you think the last part will come at the end of the PS5, or PS6?
PS6. PS6.
The rumor is that PS6 is coming out in 2027 something, or 2028. So we still have a long time, and they just took 4 years.
Yeah, it could be, but
It could be a cross. It could be like a cross platform release, PS5 and PS6 at the same time.
yeah. I mean, and probably they already are working on 17 too.
Yeah, because the other day I was reading, and apparently Yoshi P and his team started to work in Final Fantasy 16 before Final Fantasy 15 was coming out. Like that same year, but before. It was a very long time ago. So yeah, 17 is already in the making.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't know who is in charge. I don't think it's Yoshi P again.
Yeah, no, because if he was already making.
Yeah, he's making DLCs now.
16, 14, and 17 at the same time.
Well, I think like next year is a very good year for anyone that is a Final Fantasy.
I only hope that it's not Nomura.
But Nomura is making this one and Kingdom Hearts 4.
Yeah, but
it will be too much, but maybe he works.
That's my only wish.
Yeah. But I don't know, what other team is in charge? Well, maybe like, I don't know if they will trust them so much, but the team that is making like games like Octopath Traveler and that stuff, they might put them in charge of.
Yeah, I mean,
they could.
Interesting.
Yeah, they are like the more traditional part of Square Enix at this point.
Who is the one that made 12 and Background Story?
It's kind of the same people that is working in 14 and 16.
Okay.
Because there was like an interview with many people of 16, like the people that were in charge, and they were like asking them which one is your favorite and things like that, and some of them say like 12. So I don't think at that point they were like that kind of team. I think it was called something else probably. But yeah, like Vagrant Story was made by this guy that made Tactics, and then he was in charge of 12.
Yasumi Matsuno.
Yeah, Matsuno. So after Matsuno had some health problems with, in the middle of like the development of 12, I think he did finish a story, but like the rest of the team was in charge of like finishing the product. And then he came back to make some main scenario things for, how is it called?
Yeah, he created something for Stormblood
in Final Fantasy 14.
Shadowbringers, I think. Or they asked him to make.
Yeah. I would.
But if his health is okay, it will be interesting if he makes.
He will make another game like 16, because that is his kind of narrative.
Yeah, but he's not Yoshi P. It's not gonna be the same.
No, of course, but I think it will be kind of like in that tone.
But I really like the art styles they use for Background Story and 12.
And the music is so good. Like it's the same guy in Tactics, Vagrant, and 12. So
that will be good to see a new gen game with those graphics.
Yeah. Like, I will be really happy if we get even like a same game in the same universe, like in Ivalice again. But I don't know, different.
I would like two things. One, a new Final Fantasy Tactics.
Or at least
that is like a
remaster of the old one.
No, a new one.
A new one too.
Not like the advanced ones. More adult, like the original. That and a new Background Story. Could be Background Story 2 or something like that.
And that one
something like that, really complex and
Yeah, Vagrant needs a remaster too, because it's trapped on the PS1. So
Yeah.
I think it would be nice if they could like take it out and put
Yeah,
it.
remaster, some improvements on the control, quality of life.
Yeah,
Like
mostly.
changing the weapon, that you have to go to the menu, go to the grip.
Yeah, I think like the best thing that they could add is a fast forward. So everything is speed up a little bit and it goes faster, because like the thing with Vagrant is that the combat is really slow. But the thing too, now that I remember, is that it had this, you know, that you need to press square, triangle, or circle to just keep the combo going. I don't think you could do that if it's fast.
Yeah.
It's
I
important.
don't know. For me, if they just put like L2, L or whatever to change your weapon, like,
Yeah.
and you could have some 2 or 3 different weapons already prepared and just swap.
Yeah, it would be nice. I don't know if they're gonna do it, but
I don't think so.
yeah. Then we have something kind of random
You
prepared.
prepare something. Fresh.
I don't know how to call it, a report, something like that.
I mean, with the time we are gonna know.
It's kind of like a small, I don't know, love letter to Metal Gear from my part. I think we are going to start to make these new sections where if we play the franchise for a very long time, or we play many of those games, many of the games that are part of the franchise, like we're gonna do with Final Fantasy 16 and things like that. Well, 16, Final Fantasy in general. I think we want to just like make some, I don't know, small, I guess, love letter to this series. So yeah.
So it's gonna be with spoiler, or you're gonna try to
No spoilers. I don't think I will get into the story because it's a fucking mess. We wanna be talking many
just
hours.
a few minor spoilers too.
I have some like. I don't want to spoil that much because you didn't play Metal Gear Solid 4, so I don't think it's.
All the people that watch it.
Yeah, maybe they didn't play it too because it's trapped on the PS3.
Millions.
Yeah. So. Okay. I think we have.
Hello, Julia.
We have, yeah, the only one that is watching. We have first Metal Gear started in the MSX. That I think.
At first, which company is Metal Gear?
Konami. Directed by Hideo Kojima. A Hideo Kojima game. So Metal Gear, I think, started on the MSX. It's a very weird console that it came on Japan, and I think in United States had another name. I can't remember now the name of the version that they got, but that was like the birth of Metal Gear. Hideo Kojima, as we were like talking a few days ago, weeks, was a guy that kinda started in Konami because I think it was the only place that he found like a place to, a position to work there. And he worked in a very weird game before, a penguin game, something like that, very random. But I think like at that point in his life, he was just crazy enough to come out with the ideas that he put in this game. So Metal Gear was like the first, I don't know if it is the first game of one of the first games to be the pioneer in the stealth genre. It's something that at that point it was maybe something that didn't exist or very weird.
What year is the first one?
1987. So
it must be one of the first ones.
Yeah, if it wasn't the first one, it was one of the first one. Of course, the graphics of this one are like very old. The controls are very limited, and the narrative goes, it happens through codec. At that point in the series, we already have the famous codec, that is like this device that Solid Snake or Naked Snake or Old Snake or Venom Snake use to communicate with different people. The codec can be used for like evolve or progress in the narrative aspect of the game, but it can be also used for tutorials or advice, or in the later save your game. So it has like many uses. I think it's a part of Metal Gear that is like a classic thing, and it has been evolving a lot through the years. But yeah, in the first two games we have Metal Gear and then Metal Gear 2 Solid Snake. The story is very basic. It's kinda Solid Snake needs to infiltrate Outer Heaven. There is like a facility, I would say, or a military base that is
Outer Heaven in the first one?
In the first one.
Or in both?
No, in the first one. The second one is Zanzibar.
This one is in Zanzibar. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't want to say much of that because it might be a spoiler.
Yeah.
But then I will connect this with the other things. So he's like part of this unit that is called Foxhound. At this point in the story of like Solid Snake, we don't know much about his past, of his life. He's kind of like a rookie soldier that is in charge of like doing this because they are like developing like a nuclear weapon that is called Metal Gear. Metal Gear is something that is an iconic part of the franchise. It's like these massive robots that are like part of every single game. In every game you're gonna need to fight one. Why it's being used and which is the purpose of the existence of these like devices is kind of like it depends in the narrative of the game, but it is something that is part of like the series. Yeah, it became very iconic, I guess. So yeah, the view of the game is like top down, so you see everything like that. It has very few mechanics. The game is like kind of sneaking past the guards and like hitting them from behind and things like that. I think the enemies respawn every time that, like, if you take care of some enemies, you move to another screen and come back, they might be there. So yeah, without going too much into the story, because I think like even if these games are very outdated and old, I would recommend to watch a video, because I think Hideo really likes to connect the entire thing. Like in one point we thought that Metal Gear Solid was the beginning of something new, but by the end of the franchise we understand that everything is connected in some way. Maybe some things, because of the limitation of that time, weren't like really well explained or resolved in a way that it will be kind of clear, but we understand that everything is connected, and it makes for like a massive plot that inside all the narrative of the games you have like plot twists and things like that.
Yeah, they are really hard to play, but the story is canon.
Yeah. So if you can watch a video or like read something that is like a resume or something like that, you just can go and try to see. After the first Metal Gear, like of course you have this fight between Snake and Big Boss, and then you have the second game that they made that wasn't made by Hideo Kojima. It was a game that I think is called Metal Gear 2 Revenge, Snake Revenge or something like that, made by Konami. This is when we start to see that when Konami tries to do things by their own, they kinda suck. So that game is not canon. You could watch it. It has the same kind of gameplay and it looks kinda the same, but I wouldn't say that it's a canon. The first game also came for the NES, so It was the first Nintendo console, so it was there too. And then we have Metal Gear 2 Solid Snake. This one was again Kojima like taking care of the series, making a direct sequel to the first game. Was releasing in 1990 for the MSX2. Yeah, it just progressed again the story of Solid Snake. We get a little more information about what kind of soldier he is. We get more information about like people like Roy Campbell, that is a classic, iconic character of Metal Gear Solid 1, 2, and 4. We get like other classic adversaries like Grey Fox. And this one is about Snake again infiltrating a military base that is called Zanzibar. Again, to fight with Big Boss. The reasons and everything is something that I think you need
Like
to...
the first 3 games with the next one that you're gonna talk are basically really similar.
Very similar, yeah. It's the same plot and structure. It's kind of like the same structure over and over again. It's a Snake infiltrating the military base. In the first 2 it was because of Big Boss, and there is plot twist with Big Boss and things like that. But like it is the same, kind of the same. It's just that in Metal Gear Solid 1 we get like a deeper narrative and a complex one. So yeah, for Metal Gear Solid 1 I have some interesting things that I wrote here. Let me see. What did I put? One. Metal Gear
PS1
yeah,
already.
Metal Gear Solid 1. But it's not called 1, it's just Metal Gear Solid. It is called Solid because it was the first 3D entry in the series. And also because Kojima didn't want to call Metal Gear 3, because in some point it was like a new era of Metal Gear. It was the first time that Hideo Kojima was in charge of everything on the series. He was going to decide in which platform the game was going to come out, like marketing, everything. He was like just taking care of like every single aspect of the release of the game. He wanted to put it on the PlayStation 1 because he felt that the PlayStation 1 was like the best console at the time to kind of make this game that it was going to be more advanced than anything at that time, kind of. It was very particular. So yeah, he didn't want to call it Metal Gear 3 to not put off like newcomers and confuse them and things like that. So yeah, I think Metal Gear Solid 1 is just like a very special game. It's a game that came on the PS1. It was revolutionary to the point that we didn't see anything before that game. The things that he do with the game are like just very impressive. I think you told me this one before, but you know, like the moment that a Snake is walking in the snow and you leave the footsteps and the guard will see the footsteps and start to following you. There is so many details in the game. The fight with Psycho Mantis, that you need to change the port of the controller.
Is this the first one or in the previous one too? That, you know, like Kojima likes to do those crazy things that nobody thinks about, no? Like, I don't know, if you smoke, maybe you can do something with the smoke, or gonna
I think, yeah,
damage you, or you can punch the wall and make sound.
Yeah, I think this one was like the first one to implement like many mechanics. If you, for example, if you have like you have some cigarettes in your inventory, if you use them near like some lasers, you can't see the lasers, you can use the smoke to just see everything around. If you want to call a guard to distract him, you can knock in a door or things like that. Yeah, you have the first person view. This one was like the first time that he could implement this. They could see around in first person to see all the environment in 3D. And one of the biggest aspects of the game is that it was very cinematic, and it has like voice acting that at the time it was considered to be kind of like at the level of the best. I don't know if the best, but like very Hollywood like level of voice acting and performances. So yeah, the game was very interesting, and it's the beginning of Solid Snake trying to find out like his past, his genetics past. He finds more about like himself, his family in some way. And yeah, this is like
like you say, it's not a spoiler, but talk a little bit about the Psycho Mantis fight.
Okay, so Psycho Mantis is kind of like one of the bosses of the game, and he has of course psychic powers. So one of the more mind-blowing things of that time, it was how Psycho Mantis could read every movement that you were like doing. So the only way to fight Psycho Mantis was like changing your port. But he will do these things that he will like kind of turn off your TV, and you will think, fuck, my TV turned off, and it's not. It's like just changing the channels, but it's part of the game. And one of the best things, I think, it was like, if you have a memory card and maybe you had Konami games, he will just read, he will pretend that he was reading your mind, and he will say like, oh, I see that you have been playing Castlevania and things like that. And that was insane for that time. Or like he will say like, put your controller in a flat place or whatever, and then like he will start to move it with his mind and things like that. I don't know, it has so many things that made Metal Gear Solid 1 a very special game. The music was very good. And yeah, I think it was a success on the PS1. Later it got like a VR missions that is just like some, I would say, mini game, like training stuff. Nothing special. It doesn't have many, I don't think it has any story things or
No.
So yeah, I think like I have here like the themes that it touch. So it's a lot of about identity, how Solid Snakes try to deal with his identity as a soldier, and the legacy that he has of his genes. I don't know. I wouldn't spoil that because I think it's interesting to see. It's a very old game, so if you didn't play it until now, I don't know what you're doing, but I think it is nice to see these things. And then we have Metal Gear Solid 2. This was like a game that it came out on the release of the PS2. So it was going to use all the power of that console. I think we were like prepared for that. Hideo just made a very, very impressive showcase of what the power of the PlayStation 2 was. At the time, there is trailers of people in the E3 like watching the trailer of Metal Gear Solid 2, and you can see the people like going insane because it was really mind-blowing, like seeing everything. You had the first perspective with the camera, that you could use the guns and things to be more precise with your aiming and things like that. The environments, you could destroy environments like bottles and things like that, and that was insane to see.
But the gameplay works similar to...
The gameplay is similar, Solid. Yeah. It has the same top view that the first one and the other ones. It's just that it gives you a little bit more of like a perspective when you change to the first person view. And the game ran at 60 frames, that it made it super smooth, like even on the PS2. Voice acting was great again. One of the the biggest problem with the game, for many people it was a problem. For me, I think it is a nice thing, but one, it depends on what you like. Is that Hideo kinda tried to show like many parts of the game that were only with Solid Snake, or he will show parts of the game like in a later part of the games with Solid Snakes, but it wasn't with him actually. The game lets you use Solid Snake for, I guess, 2 hours. It depends on how fast you play that part. That is like an introduction to Metal Gear Solid 2. And then you change to another character. The moment that you change to this character, it is used like something that tries to show you, yes, it is a snake. For a moment, it makes you think that it's a snake, because this guy tried to imitate the voice of a snake. They call him a snake, I think, if I don't remember, if I remember correctly. It's kind of like it's trying to make you confused about like the fact that you are not going to play with a snake. So we get introduced to Raiden. Raiden is like a very important character in the Metal Gear Solid franchise, but like more in the future games, I would say. I will divide the franchise in future games, and the games that come after are more prequels. So this is where the narrative of Metal Gear gets very confused, complicated, complex. It is like a game that is trying all the time to have so many details and conspiracies and things like that. It is a lot about like information control, identity again, government conspiracy, and they talk about like the legacy, what we're gonna leave to the newer generations and things like that. So there is a lot about how the game is trying to make you think that you are doing something, but you are actually being controlled all the time. So kind of like Hideo tries to put Raiden like you are a person that is a rookie, you don't have experience, so they put like your perspective, I think, as a player in Raiden, and you can see yourself like that, because you are confused, like Raiden is confused, you don't understand, like he doesn't understand. You start to doubt that the things that you are like listening or seeing might not be true. Raiden is a person that is very confused about his past and things like that. So I think it's a game that it needs more than one playthrough to understand like the scale and the scope of the entire story and the narrative, because it's very complex. And also make a lot of research. The game has like
I played not long ago for
yeah.
the first time. And I would say like 80% of the game is okay, it's linear, you can understand.
It's a
But the
later
last
part.
20% is like what?
Yeah, it's the moment that everything goes to shit. Like it becomes really crazy. I think it's a very good part, but I think like one of the legacies that this game has is kind of like the premonitions, or how it shows what it was going to be the future in one way, with the mostly with like the manipulation of the information and things like that, the technology and everything. So yeah, I think Metal Gear Solid 2 was it is still one of the best games ever, but I think it had like mixed reception. Many people thought that maybe you were going to play with Raiden a little bit, and you end up playing the entire game with him. And like what Hideo Kojima tries to do with Snake is that he wanted to show you that the character could be deeper than we ever saw before. That because like sometimes, or maybe he thought at that time, that if he puts you in the Snake perspective, like you see everything through his eyes, it's kind of hard to make the character deeper. He thought that maybe putting the character as a like side character that is doing things with you, it would be better to just, I don't know, show another part of Snake that at that time we didn't see before. So yeah, you have something to say about MGS2?
No, what I say, and also like maybe it's a thing for Metal Gear is like the games are quite serious,
I'm fine.
but then you have some weird moments,
Yeah,
and he really likes to create these superhuman bosses.
yeah, yeah. You
But
have
at the end, they are not superhuman, or they are, you don't know.
everything has like a logical explanation, I would say. But
Yeah, most of it.
most, yeah, um, it's not like super logical, of course, but it has like I don't know, a way to show you that okay, this is happening because of this. Some things might not get like explained in this game, like you don't know why Bump is immortal, for example. But then maybe you find out in another game. It's like that. So yeah, that's the end of Metal Gear Solid 2. I think like it's important to say that Metal Gear Solid 2 was really advanced at the time with the NPCs. The AI of the enemies was really, really interesting. They have like Hideo has been like working with a military instructor of like Japan, a very famous one. So like every movement that the soldiers do, the position and everything is like kind of coached by this military guy, and it shows. It clearly shows because it's something very professional in every way. At that point, Hideo had like through Metal Gear had like many times. It happened with the first game and it happened with this one. That he said, "This is my last Metal Gear game." He said that I don't know, a few times. I could say that maybe 3 or 4 times he said that. And then I don't know. I think he tried again, not touching this theme of the legacy and passing like this thing to the next generations. He tried to do that inside Konami, and then he realized that it wasn't that easy. In the middle of some games, and I will touch a little bit the spin-off games, I don't think they are worth playing. You have some spin-off games that came for PSP, like Metal Gear Acid 1 and 2. Portable Ops is the one that has some story. Hideo say that it's not canon, but I don't think it's about a story. Then you have what other one? The Game Boy version of Metal Gear Solid 1 that is not Metal Gear Solid 1. It's called Babylon's something, and it's another story. It could be taken as canon or not, but it is another story. Then you have like visual novels. These one apparently are a little bit canon and explain a little bit of like what Snake was doing in I think it was at the beginning of Metal Gear Solid 1 or a little bit before of Metal Gear Solid 1, and then you have one for Metal Gear Solid 2. Those ones were available for the first time on the PSP, then on the PS3 with the Legacy Collection, and now I think they will be available in the Master Collection. So it's just like a comic based thing that you can watch, and I don't know. And then we have like Metal Gear Solid, Metal Gear Rising, but that one I will explain later. So after Metal Gear Solid 2, he say, okay, this is my last game. I think the team started to work in Metal Gear Solid 3. When he saw what they were doing, he said, okay, no, then I need to go with this one. This one is a very like big contrast with Metal Gear Solid 2 because he said that maybe he felt that he went too far with Metal Gear Solid 2, like in terms of the narrative and everything. He felt like maybe it was too much, too complicated and things like that, which I think we all agree. I don't think it's bad, but it was kind of like something that, yeah, it was too much. So
This is the favorite of a lot of people, no?
yeah, I would say that it might be my favorite too. I always have like I will make a rank when we finish the thing, but Metal Gear Solid 3 was the first game for me in the Metal Gear franchise that kinda shocked me. Because, like you mentioned before, the game or the franchise in general has these kinda like silly, funny jokes. It can be very stupid sometimes. But then there is like a transition to very serious and emotional moments. And I think Metal Gear Solid 3 is like a game that it has such a simple story. It doesn't have many like a complex narrative or things that you might need to put a lot of attention to understand. I think it's basic and at the same time like the simple part of the story was make it like so special. So Metal Gear Solid 3 is a story of Big Boss. At the time we didn't know who he was, and it's like Snake. It's called Snake, and in this one is Naked Snake. It's when we start to see the variations of different snakes. This one is like the prequel to everything that happened in Metal Gear. Like even the MSX games, even the PS1 game, PS2, everything. It is around like the Cold War era. It came out on 2004, again for the PS2. And it's the first time that the game had like a new release. The game was called Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater in 2004, and I think in 2005 they make a new version that is called Metal Gear Solid 3 Subsistence. And it was the first time that they changed the view of the game, because apparently at the time, of course, the game was well received and everything, but it got kind of criticized for have much of the same feeling again with the gameplay. At least in that point, because of course the mechanics of the gameplay is a lot deeper than the other ones. So this one is a snake in a jungle. He's like going through a mission again, kind of the same. He needs to try to get like a nuclear thing weapon. He's like in Russia going through this jungle and things like that, and you have a lot of mechanics that are introduced in this game, and I think they were just for this game. We didn't see them used as much in another game. This one is a lot about survival. It's a lot about like using your environments, blending with your environments, camouflage, hunting animals, eating the animals. This one is the first game that for me got so deep into the mechanics, because you can use items. For example, if you have, I don't know, food in your inventory, you can keep it for, I don't know, many days. If that food like get like rotten, you can throw it to enemies, and the enemies will grab it because they are hungry or things like that, and they will get poisoned. Then there is places like you can go, and if it's like a place that maybe the enemies or the soldiers have like food and things like that, you can blow these places. The enemies won't have food, and after a while they're gonna start to feel weak, and it's really easy to take them down. So every encounter that you have can be resolved in different ways, and that's where like the gameplay gets so engaging and deep. The bosses too. Maybe you think you can do it in one way, but there is ways to do it. Like different. One of the craziest one I think is with the end. The end is like a sniper with like superhuman abilities. He's very old, and he kind of needs like sun to feed himself, because he's kind of like a plant human. There is like 3 different ways to kill him. One is if you see him before, you can use a sniper to just hit him from very far away. The second one is that you could save the game, turn off your PlayStation, leave it there for 1 week, and when you come back, the guy will be dead because he was too old. And then you can play the traditional encounter. That I think that's the best way to play it, because it can be a little bit tedious, but it's when it kind of like it's a showcase of the abilities and how everything works.
But also you can choose to not kill anyone.
You can choose to not kill anyone. That is like I think something that is in every game of like every Metal Gear, but in this one has a meaning. I won't spoil it again because I think it's a nice detail, but yeah, you should play it and see for yourself. And this one has like the boss. The boss is a character that for me is one of the best characters in all Metal Gear, and it's kind of like the mentor of Snake. So it's like the person that is teaching him new ways and the way of fighting, and is the one that helped him to develop the CQC system. That is a system that you use to take down soldiers, to disarm them, to knock them out, and a lot of ways. So the narrative of the game was simple. We see Ocelot, another character I forgot to mention. That is an iconic character from Metal Gear Solid 1 and 2. And in here we see like his origins as a young, more like stupid Ocelot. The game ends in a very emotional way. And the music is amazing. And it's more, I don't know, it's classic, has a classic feeling. Like a, I don't know if I would say like a James Bond kind of movie. Or
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. And yeah, the themes again, I think is something interesting that I have here. It's about like betrayal, loyalty, and the cost of patriotism. So it was a very important game. I think many consider this one like the best game in the series. And
I mean, I think it has the most iconic fight.
Yeah. It's the more
Boss fight.
Yeah, it's the more consistent too. I don't know, like the jungle part of the game was very impressive at the time. Of course, these games.
I would say that.
Yeah.
Now, if you play it today, this kind of gameplay is really hard. Like,
clunky.
It's clunky, rusty. The first and the second one, it's more okay.
Yeah.
Didn't age that well.
No, yeah.
Gameplay wise.
Yeah. It has a lot going on for, but like, again, yeah. It is an old game, so it might be a little bit harder to play. Well, I think that's everything for Metal Gear Solid 3. You want to say something else?
No. Keep going.
Well, and then we get to Metal Gear Solid 4. This one is a personal favorite of mine. It's a game that this one and Metal Gear Solid 3, but I think in the last few years this one more. It's a game that I keep coming and I keep coming back and I keep coming back and I play it and I play it again and I
because
know
you have PS3.
I have PS3, so yeah, that's the only way you can play it now. I think if you have a very, very powerful PC, you can emulate the game. But again, that emulation has its own problems, so we are trying to pray that Konami will bring Metal Gear Solid 4 in the second volume of the collection. Otherwise, it will be a disappointment. But yeah, Metal Gear Solid 4 won a record Guinness for being the game with the longest cinematics at that time. Maybe it's still one. But I don't know, because Death Stranding has a lot too. But at that time, it was the game with the longest amount of cinematics in a video game ever. This can be, I don't know, I enjoy them because I like these kind of things, but it can be quite tedious. Like between each mission you have like briefings. There are like moments that you have cinematics that are interactive, but they can be quite long. But I think like they put you in the perspective of like just that moment of peace, because Metal Gear Solid 4 is very chaotic in one point. It has a lot of action, a lot of adrenaline, and moments of like, I don't know, tension and things like that. Wait, that I want to put the video. So I think it's a very it's a weird game, but it's very good. So it has like, it was the first game that was made on the PS3 from Kojima. I think he decided to make it on the PS3 because he really wanted to use the power of the console. At that time, the PS3 was like a very powerful console. It tries to use a lot of things, and it shows. It shows that it has very advanced graphics. The game try to mock a lot like FPS games. So because at the time the PS3 and the Xbox 360 I think were like very famous for the amount of first-person shooters that were like having. So he tries to make fun of all these games all the time through the story and through the trailers that we saw before. And we see a Solid Snake that is old. It has like been aging really fast. There is a explanation because that is happening. But yeah, we see him that he's old, he's tired. He has like a, I think even like in some posters Kojima called him like old dog. So he's like, yeah, really tired. And like one of the themes of Metal Gear Solid 4 is how like the war and everything became part of like the economics of everything. Like war is everything, and war is changing. It's controlled by AIs and proxies and things like that. It's like the manipulation of everything. Every soldier doesn't have like control of their own weapons. Like the AI gives them control or like access to weapons, and they can use them through that. But the AI can also say you don't get access, and you can't even shoot. So there is a lot of that through nanomachines and things like that. And they show a lot how the nanomachines and everything has been like taking control of the society. Metal Gear Solid 4 starts with like, it's not a spoiler, but it's like a segment of commercials. And those commercials are like all live action. And they are like all commercials showing like how war is in everything. How the technology is like taking control of everything, and how the people is kind of going crazy. I think this game, again, like you play it today, and this one I think it feels perfect because it meets a little bit of what it is like the classic gameplay of Metal Gear Solid, but giving you the controls that you want in a third-person shooter and things like that. So it's not that clunky anymore. The CQC is really advanced to the point that it's kind of absurd, the things that you can do, not even necessary.
What's the CQC? For the people that doesn't know.
Close quarter combat. So it's like the combat that you can use to take down enemies by like grabbing them, strangling them, throwing to the floor. I don't know. Things like that. So yeah, the plot is a very, I don't know. It is a complex game again. It is kind of like Metal Gear Solid 2. It has that complex thing because this was like the end of Metal Gear Solid. It was supposed to end the franchise, and it actually does. It's the ending of everything. So we see like the many arcs of many characters just ending in this one. Ocelot, Solid Snake, Raiden, Bamp, I know, so many other characters, Otacon, I don't know, characters that are like part of the franchise just have the final moments there.
Otacon.
Yeah. And I think
Why is he called Otacon?
Yeah.
Why is he called Otacon?
Because he really likes anime and stuff. Just see, I know.
Otaku convention. No?
Yeah. He really likes anime and robots and things like that. So he has like posters and things. But yeah, I think this is a great game. It is long and can be a little bit tedious. It's hard. This one, it has some levels that are very hard. But yeah, like if you can get a PS3 for this one, just wait for the release on the Master Collection, and if it's not coming there, then try to get a PS3 because it is a wonderful game.
Yeah. If it doesn't come in the volume 2 of the collection, don't buy it.
No, yeah.
Don't buy it.
Yeah, the only way to buy that collection, the second part at least, is for Metal Gear Solid 4.
Yeah, and stop buying the first one.
Yeah, like I understand that it's good for preservation, but I don't know. I don't like Konami and their ways, so I wouldn't support it. I already have the games I want to have, so I wouldn't stop you from getting these games if you really want to try them, because it's a nice opportunity. I do think that Metal Gear Solid 4, this is something I want to mention, it has a lot of like licensed products, so they're gonna need to remove all that a lot. Like, it becomes kinda ridiculous. You have an iPod and you kinda have an iPod like actually to use it. MacBooks and things like that. Magazines, all Japanese energy drinks and ramen and things like that. So it's kind of like in Metal Gear Solid 3, you have this calorie mate that is like a, how is it called, like an energetic bar, protein bar.
Yeah, eating bar. Yeah.
And that is a Japanese product. So yeah, I don't know. You have all these things. It's a game that I wouldn't say that it makes like a tribute to PlayStation, but maybe it makes like a tribute to the history of the franchise with the console. That I think is a nice touch, but it can feel a little bit weird if you play it in another console that is not the PS3, because kind of like the show doesn't make much sense. Of course, you will understand that the game came in that console before, but yeah, I don't know if they're gonna cut those things, but yeah. So I think like the game, it was very well received. It's one of the best games on the PS3. It looks fantastic even now. Yeah, I don't know what other thing to say about Metal Gear Solid 4. Just that.
What next?
Well, next we have Peace Walker. Peace Walker, to be honest, is a very weird Metal Gear, because I think like I really like it, but it has to like some things that I want to talk about now. The game came on the PSP, so it is like a wonderful game, because to be honest, it has a very high quality even for being a PSP game. The game got ported to PS3 later on the HD collection, so that's the best way to play it, I guess, because it has better controls, it works better, but it also is a very PSP game, so you have many like missions and things like that, and you go to this mission, it's in a very limited space. You have like some objectives, and that is the only thing you can do. Like, you finish that, you go back to your base, you do that, and you go back to your base. This is the first game that it changed the famous subtitle, I guess, or second title of the game. The game up to this point, it was called Metal Gear Solid Tactical Espionage Operations. No, what was that? I forgot. Well, I don't know. In this one, they changed it to Operation. I think the other one was like Action or something like that, and this one is more Operations, because this one goes back to the past. It's a Big Boss, or Naked Snake, in 1974. He's in Latin America. He has like a lot of references to the Che and things like that. Very famous communist soldier. The game has a very...
You can drink
you can,
mate
you
from
can,
Argentina.
yeah, you can drink mate. What I really like about this game is that you can see that Snake is broken. After the events in Metal Gear Solid 3, you see a Snake that is already broken, that is more serious. It still has that Kojima humor in the game a lot. But you see, in the moments that you see a Snake, you see him as a man that is already broken inside. He's like far away from everything. And I can't like talk too much about why he's far away from everything because I think it's spoilers of the past game. But yeah, he's like rebuilding or actually building like a nation without like governments or control. He wants a place where like soldiers can be free and enjoy their freedom. So he started like to work trying to do that far away from everything and try to build something that is called Mother Base. Mother Base will be like your place of operations where like you're gonna take from a gameplay perspective control of like every aspects of the Mother Base, like constructions, soldiers that you send to do missions and they come back with resources and things like that. And it will be something that will be really used and expand in the following games. But in this one was like the introduction of this mechanic, more like about management and things like that. And it is a very, I think it's a very a game that is very co-op, like cooperative multiplayer. It has a lot of elements that are, I think, more enjoyable through that, and today it's kind of hard to do that.
It's kind of grindy.
It is very grindy. The story is really nice, and I think it keeps like doing this thing that Portable Ops did, that is like using cinematics but like comic books, and they are interacting. Sometimes you have like some quick time events that you need to do, but it looks really nice. The art is made all by Yoshi Shinkawa, that is just another wonderful artist that has been working with Kojima since I don't know if it was from Metal Gear Solid 1, but at least that is the first time that we saw him there. So yeah, again, like I really like this game. I just think that maybe the format doesn't make it justice. I think if this game had the same story in another format, like in a PS3 or a PS4, it would have been much better. But because of the limitations of the PSP, it can feel a little bit grindy, like you say, and annoying to play at times. But if you had like the HD version, or like if they put it in the Legacy or Master Collection, I mean, it's a game that you can play really fast. Because like the problem with the original version that I played the PSP version is that the controls are impossible. Like on the PSP, it's such a pain in the ass. You need to aim like with the D-pad and things like that. So it becomes really annoying to play. But on the PS3 you can use the normal layout of the controls, and I think it's just better. So I don't have much to say because I think it's like a game that I really like, but I don't have that big attachment like I have with the other ones. But you played too not long ago. What do you think about Peace Walker?
No, I mean, I like the gameplay style. I like it more than the third one, I would say.
Yeah.
I think the story is a must if you're gonna play the next one,
Yeah.
the fifth. You need to know what happened in Peace Walker.
This one, I feel like mostly with like the next one is so like it's connected in such a way that it's kind of like I'm not sure, but I think it's like 2 months or something after the events of Peace Walker. It's a very direct sequel. Yeah. I can't remember if it was I think it was before this game came out, but we got a spin-off that is called Metal Gear Rising. It was supposed to be a Metal Gear Solid, but apparently the team was like doing a lot of crazy things that they couldn't like actually put them in the game. Like you could like start to cut buildings and things like that, and everything will fall. Like the physics of the game was insane. There was a trailer of riding like cutting a watermelon.
Yeah, that's the only thing I remember.
Yeah, you didn't play that one.
No, I didn't, but I remember that trailer
Yeah,
and the precision that you could cut
yeah,
the water now.
yeah, it was insane. But again, I feel because of how the arc of Raiden ends in Metal Gear Solid 4, I think it's a bit unnecessary, this game. So I wouldn't. I don't know. If you want to play a good hack and slash game, go for it. It's a fun game. It's really hard. It's made by Platinum Games, so you know they're gonna have a good experience, I guess, with the game. But I wouldn't say like it's the greatest Metal Gear experience.
Yeah, but it doesn't try to be.
No, it doesn't
It's
try
a
to be.
different, it's a different experience, something else.
Yeah. If you take it as canon, I don't know, it's a little bit weird, but if you take it just as a spin-on fun game of Raiden because you wanted to play like the coolest version of himself, then this game is perfect for you. Then we go to Ground Zeroes. Video. I think Ground Zeroes was going to be the first game made in the FOTS engine, and even by today's standards, I think you played not long ago too, this game looks incredible. Like the lighting, the textures, the animation, everything looks insane. Like I keep going back to these games once in a while, and it's very interesting how they look. Yeah, I think Ground Zeroes is like a direct sequel to Peace Walker and a prequel to what it will be Metal Gear Solid 5. So it is a very short prequel. It doesn't have much story. I think you can finish it in like in one hour maybe. It has some levels and things that you can replay.
Why, if you know what to do.
If you know what to do, yeah. It's a hard. This one is a hard game, but it has like replayability and things that you can unlock and things that you can do after finishing the story. At the time, she got like the people was super hype, but the reception was kind of bad because it was really expensive. It's actually really short for what the price was at that time. I think it was like $30 or $40 for this. I don't know.
Was it forced by Konami, no? Like they forced Kojima like make this one?
Yeah, I think probably. Because the thing with Metal Gear Solid 5 is that Kojima was taking a very long time, and the money that he was using for Metal Gear, it was going up and up and up. And this is the moment where Konami start to realize that if we do just mobile games, it's cheaper and faster, and we get a lot of money. So they thought that
and pachinko.
And pachinko, and I think in Japan they have shims. Yeah, they have a lot of things. Yeah, I think they have. I remember like seeing something like that. They have pachinko, Yu-Gi-Oh cards. And with the mobile stuff, I think they were, I don't know, it was enough for them. They didn't need to put a lot of effort in these AAA games that Kojima was doing. That, of course, Kojima was going to take it, I don't know, to a whole new level. And he developed this engine that is called FOTS engine. And yeah, Ground Zeroes is just that, a very short experience. If you want to play it now, you can buy a whole like package that has Ground Zeroes and the Phantom Pain, both together. Yeah, it's just like necessary. Like you need to play if you want to know what happens in Metal Gear Solid 5, of course.
I just was looking at And indeed, they have Konami Sports Club.
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, I don't know. They have a lot of things. So yeah, then I think Kojima kind of disappeared for a while after releasing this thing, and we have like a I
He
don't
went
know.
to the gym.
He went to the gym. Konami told him that he needed to go to the gym, the sports club. No, but after this, he made. I think he kind of disappeared. We didn't know what was going to happen. And then we have like something really weird with a Swedish studio that it was called Moby Dick. And they came out like with a guy that had like all his face with bandages and things like that. And they show a trailer that at that time it was easy to see a snake, but people were kind of confused. They didn't understand. They showed the name of the game and it was just the Phantom Pain. But you could see that it said Metal Gear Solid 5. I think a lot of people with Photoshop and things like that try to do something to edit like the picture, and they started to see that okay, say Metal Gear Solid 5. People were like speculating. No one knew what was going to be this game because the studio was like Moby Dick. No one heard of that studio before. So of course it was Kojima behind all that. And we got Metal Gear Solid 5. In between that, I think it's worth mentioning.
It was about that publicity with the head transplant, no?
Yeah. Yeah, I think it was about that. I think
With the Italian doctor,
uh,
I think it was.
yeah, I think it was that.
Was gonna transplant a head.
Yeah. And between this, I think he made I can't remember now, but I think he made PT. PT was a playable teaser that was going to be the next Silent Hill game, made by Kojima, Guillermo del Toro, Norman Reedus, Shunji Ito, and I can't remember if someone else, but at least
Shunji Ito was also.
yeah, he was making the design of all the monsters and things like that. And of course Akira Yamaoka, the guy in charge of the soundtrack of the games, of Silent Hill games. This game was also made on the FOTS engine, and it changed a lot of the horror games at the time. It was a big influence, kind of like a revolution, I would say. Sadly, never came out because Konami decided to just cancel the thing. And when we were like getting closer to the release of Metal Gear Solid 5, we started to see that the things between Kojima and Konami started to fall off. He wasn't like I don't know, in a good situation. They started to erase the name of Hideo from the bot's art and things like that. Something that it was before, like the marketing campaign. They just delete the name. And yeah, they say at the beginning that Hideo was going to take just a small vacation or something like that. And then they just like closed all the studio. They fired him, and yeah, he kinda lost everything at that time. But when Metal Gear Solid 5, I think the Phantom Pain, it was a game that it has one of the best introductions to a Metal Gear Solid game ever.
Yeah.
It's one, like, you can play that and stop playing the game, and that's just memorable. Like,
I mean, it's the best part of the game. That and the last part.
yeah,
The middle is
the middle is where the problems start to show. But yeah, the beginning of the game is just insane. Very serious. It's a Metal Gear Solid game that it has still like this kind of humor, but it's kind of hidden. It's not something that you will see in the main story all the time. It's more like trying to be, I don't know, a very serious game. They changed the voice actor. They put another actor. How is it called?
Kiefer Sutherland.
Yeah, Kiefer. Um,
In
again,
the English version.
in the English version.
The Japanese one is still the same.
Yeah. I think this guy Kiefer made a wonderful job with Snake. It was kind of like needed at that point, I think.
And without spoiling, it makes sense.
It makes sense, yeah. It doesn't make much sense because, well, he also is like other thing.
Well,
It makes sense and it doesn't make sense, but it was a very nice change. The gameplay again shows you mother base management, very grindy, a lot of weapons, a lot of items, devices, tools. You can use transportation like horses and some kind of small metal gears, cars, trucks. It's a sandbox game. It has a lot of like different approach to each level. Each mission had like different objectives.
Open world.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a lot of things. It had a lot of online mechanics too. You can infiltrate in the base of other players and things like that. And yeah, I think this one is a game that I really like, and it has a very special place in my heart. But I understand that it's a game that has many problems. For some people, and this is just a theory and a speculation, they say that the story is not finished. Like there is a lot of people that think that the story is not finished, that Konami kinda push Kojima to wrap the story really fast, and that's it. Because the game, in one point, it starts to have like missions that feel repetitive, that doesn't go anywhere, that you don't see progression in the story. It is loaded with side quests and things that are like pointless. Like, they don't make anything more than give you resources and points and the currency of the game that you can use it for like different things, or to develop your base, or to recruit new soldiers and things like that. But again, it's kind of like you get more elements to the gameplay but less to the narrative. So the game starts to show like the many problems that are like in the narrative aspect. I think like it is kind of that, but it's also that Kojima decided to change the format of the narrative of the game. The game has very few cinematics, so it's a very big contrast with what it was Metal Gear Solid 4. But what it tries to do is like introduce you to like these tapes that you can pick up in different places, or you will unlock after missions and things like that. And they will like have a lot of a story, sometimes very important aspects of like things that you don't see but are like happening in the background between games, or like at the moment that you are doing something specific. So it is really important to put attention to the tapes, because it's where like all the narrative aspects of Metal Gear Solid 5 is or like lies there. So I don't think it's the best format, to be honest, because it's a lot of tapes. It's not like you have 10 tapes. It's many tapes. Some tapes say something interesting, some doesn't say anything interesting. So it's not like a very good thing to do, but like you can use them when you are playing the game. Just like put the tapes, run around, do some small things, and you can go listening to them. And if they are very important that you need to put all your attention, maybe stop and just try to listen, because the performances that you can see sometimes in the tapes are very impactful, and they develop the big plot of the story and some of the biggest characters through that element that Hideo Kojima put in the game. So this game also is like I would say like the part of one of the plots that was like loose that is the connection of the MSX games with Metal Gear Solid 5. It's not like there is I would say like an official explanation from part of Kojima saying, yeah, this is like how I connected the games. Well, if you see the ending and you go back to see like the old games, you will understand that that is the connection. I can't say much because it's like spoiling the biggest plot of the game and it doesn't make sense. But through speculation and a lot of theories that are very accurate.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
it's just that,
yeah, but
like a really big possibility.
yeah, it is really really big. So you can take it like it's not like that, but yeah. But yeah, I think like the gameplay of Metal Gear Solid 5 is the best gameplay ever in the series and one of the best game ever for me. I love how you play, the way like you feel Snake and how you can infiltrate and fight and everything. It's too advanced. You can do whatever you want. You can see thousands of videos of people like playing for thousands of hours Metal Gear Solid 5, and the things that they do is just insane. So there is so much elements in the gameplay that are very unique, but I would say that it can be overwhelming because again, like the past game, it is very grindy. So it has that aspect that you need to grind a lot if you want the best things, and it's a quite
Yeah, and most of the bases or camps are just
yeah
the same.
yeah. So yeah, I think that's the end of this long Metal Gear thing.
How long is so
Uh,
far?
I wanted to make like a rank of the games, my personal rank. Can you make one too? Without taking into consideration Metal Gear Solid 4.
Uh, I would say that personally, my favorite is the first one because it's the first one that I played when I was young. But gameplay wise, I like the second one more than the third one.
Yeah.
The third one has better bosses,
Mm,
and the story I like it more. The song is amazing, like we say.
yeah.
So maybe 1, 3, 2, 5, and 4. I don't know.
And Peace
We are
Walker.
ranking Peace Walker, and Peace Walker, and then Ground Zeroes.
Yeah. I would say that. Yeah, probably the third one is my favorite one. Like if I need to be objective with the games and everything, I think the third one is my favorite one. And then I will place Metal Gear Solid 4, and then 5. Because again, 5, I know that it has its problems and everything, but the moments that are like that are good are like really good. And the gameplay is just something I enjoy too much, and I keep playing like maybe once a week. I play Metal Gear Solid 5, so I will go with that one. And after 5, I will put 2, 1, and at the end, Peace Walker.
One solo.
Yeah. The one I like Metal Gear Solid 1, but I don't know. It's like the one I have less attachment with Peace Walker. So yeah, I think that was everything.
Okay. We talk about everything. Yep.
So this one was a very long episode.
How long is it?
2 hours and 20 minutes.
Oh, we need to reach 3 hours.
Yeah.
Maybe next time.
Yeah. So yeah, I think we are coming back next week to cover Tokyo Game Show. Maybe not. We will decide.
And I made it in the other one.
Yeah. So
We will see.
yeah, we will see. So yeah, thank you for
Okay.
joining. I hope you
Thank you
enjoy.
for watching. See you on the next.
See you.